flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to the folks at home. To the folks at home, I'm aware that we're having problems with the television, Channel 23. The picture's kind of bad. The voice, I don't know how that's coming out. But we're aware of it, and our main man is gonna...
We're hoping to start off the new year with a better AV system, or a start of one anyway.
It's not something we want, and I'm hoping it's broadcasting okay right now, and at least the sound. I think you have the agendas out there. Is there any public comment on the agenda? Any public comment on agenda items? Okay. I have the minutes of November 27th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Communications. I got some stuff on the, everyone outside of the village that has municipal water got a letter in the mail suggesting that our water system recently violated a drinking water standard. Although this is not an emergency, underlined, you have a right to know what happened. What does this mean? This is not an emergency. If it had been, you would have been notified immediately. However, some people who drink water containing, how do you say that word, hyaluronic acids, in excess of the MCL over many years may have a increased risk of getting cancer. That's great. We receive our water from the village of Highland Falls. Currently, the Orange County Health Department is working with the village on ways to reduce these DBPs. If the problem persists, we may have to explore other treatment options, but we anticipate resolving the problem in the near future. So apparently the Department of Health is not excited about it, other than it has to be corrected, and they're in the process of doing it. I have a very long letter from the Church of Holy Innocents, and putting it all in a nutshell, they went on to explain things that they do for the town. We've used the space in community disasters, the election polling site for Highland Falls and Fort Montgomery. They have a food pantry that's existed over 20 years. Their thrift shop has served the community for over 60 years. They sponsor the only Boy Scout troop in the Highland Falls, Fort Montgomery, West Point area, and they meet in their parish hall. Girl Scouts frequently have met there. We have the community meeting space for AAA, Narcotics Anonymous, and the Senior Lunch Program, and we are the site for the Highland Falls Winter Market, the Thanksgiving Community Dinner, a Young People's Career Academy, and many other things. And obviously, after reading all that, they got hit hard with the storm. They have approximately $600,000 worth of damage and repairs that they're evaluating bids for needed work. They will gratefully accept donations via check, given in person or mailed to the P.O. Box 116 Highland Falls, New York, or donations made electronically by Venmo or PayPal, which you can access here. I have the address to access that. So, is there any comments on this? Olga, you have anything to say about this?
Worthy cause.
Okay. I have a note from the Hudson Gateway Association of Realtors. They have final numbers to give us. They're the ones that gave grants out to different people. They're excited to share the final numbers. $356,079 was distributed. 209 households received relief assistance. 79% of the total households approved were Orange County residents. So that's the real estate organization, HGAR. Elected leaders, we've been invited to the community parade, on the 16th. Parade begins at Buffalo Soldiers Field at 4:45. It'll step off at 5. It'll go down Main Street to Memorial Park, and then there'll be a holiday celebration with a short program and some final thoughts on the year with our local elected officials. So if anyone here on the board would like to speak at that, let Dee Dee Marino know about it. I can't be there. Obviously, it's a Saturday night. I'm working. But I'm sure Di will have something for us there.
What was the start time again?
5 o'clock.
Okay.
And that's the parade up Main Street to Memorial Park.
5 p.m. Okay. I plan to be there. You gonna be there?
I'm gonna be hanging out with Olga's gang.
I don't have a financial report because I just signed all the vouchers tonight. And we finally have replaced our employee in accounting, and Kelly is happy. You can notice a smile on her face a little bit, once in a while, not too often, but once in a while, now that she's got her in. So, this person that we have, what's her full name? Julia
Golden,
Julia, and she's local.
but she was in Newburgh.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else that we interviewed. I interviewed all these people with Kelly, so she had a great choice of people and picked out the one that she liked the best, and that was good.
Yep, so far so good.
Yeah. And she's working, by the way, she's working part-time.
Correct.
Working part-time, kind of, was it 10 to 2, I think it is. 10 to 2.
We'll see how it goes with the course.
Yeah, good. Okay, board liaison reports. We'll start with Councilman Sullivan.
Thank you. The Zoning Board of Appeals will meet on December 20th, which is the third Wednesday at 7 p.m. here. They have 3 matters. A public hearing on a matter on Mearns Avenue, a review of a Main Street property and possibly set a public hearing on it, and a review of a property on Rowe Avenue and possibly set a public hearing on that property. Water. For the month of November, we average 89,000 gallons per day use. Remember, there was hydrant flushing, so that added to that. And Kelly's here to correct me. By my read, looking at Badger's Eye on Water, we now have 201 cellular meters reading, 15 not reading. There was like over 100 not reading a year ago. And if we look at the tally, correctly. I think there's 216 cellular meters, 110 radio read, and 121 with no meters, meaning they're using wells or whatever. And for the radio reads, we have the parts to replace them, the endpoints, whatever, so that they will be cellular. And I think they can accomplish that in the next calendar year with no problem.
Yes, they
So,
started.
massive home run with water management. The sewer. Tonight, I logged on and signed off on a DMR for the month of November. We averaged 88,000 gallons per day and had 3.5 inches of rain for November. I went to Mine Dock Road last week and laid out there was a manhole near where the culvert project is going in. They were worried about it being an obstruction. That matter was resolved. Melanie read this off at the village meeting, but for the building department, for the month of November, there were 18 permit applications received, 15 permits were issued, 17 certificates of compliance, 1 certificate of occupancy, 51 building permit inspections, 12 fire safety inspections, many of those by Mark Tully. 2 violations are closed out, 5 municipal searches were completed, 1 zoning variance was received, 1 planning board application received, and 19 FOIL requests. Planning, I'm not their liaison, but they meet on the 3rd Thursday, which is December 21st, here at 7 p.m. I have no idea what's on their agenda. Is Pine Hills part of it or not, Justin?
They believe they're not coming back till January.
Okay, all right. For the Citizens Environmental Advisory Committee, I want to thank Olga for her hosting our annual December meeting at her house and providing refreshments. The meeting was well attended. We discussed some of our accomplishments and some of our goals for 2024. Also, at that meeting, we revisited the original document when we formed on Earth Day of 2019. There's a resolution associated with it, which I didn't have time to bring up, because I'm going to ask the board to move on something later. And it was determined that the town board has the obligation, pleasure, burden, whatever you want to call it, of approving people that are on that committee. So I'm just going to read this off. Right now, active members are Olga, Tiffany Montalese, Dan Munzer, or Mauser if I said it right, myself, and Erica Affronti. 2 previous members moved away are Katie Hertel and Ashley McAdam. And our new member that I'm going to ask the board to act on. So I'm going to ask the board to accept the resignation of Katie and Ashley. And our new member has a lot of energy. Her name is Roxana Bartolim. Did I say that right, Olga, or somewhere close? And she needs board approval to, be a member of the committee. And I was going to say I sent an email to everybody. I didn't. I gave you pieces of paper with those names on them. Joey might not have gotten one. Last Wednesday at the Kaplan Hall at the Newburgh Orange County Community College facility, which is a nice facility, underground parking, nice and safe, the Hudson Valley Regional Council had what I believe to be their first annual awards ceremony. And I'm going to ask Olga if anybody has any questions about that council, just what they do. I would like to again thank Olga for her spirit and enthusiasm toward this effort over the last 4 years. And at this ceremony, we sat with the mayor of Poughkeepsie, the mayor of New Paltz, the mayor of Kingston, all of whom I've met before. All these cities are well into addressing climate-smart techniques. Also seated nearest was the mayor of the village of Warwick. How do I say this? Who has been the mayor there for 23 years. In my conversations with him, I determined that he was the son of Babe Brown. I don't know her real name, and you're all familiar with Brown's Hill. The Browns family, their father was a judge for like 30 years. Marcy Brown was my first grade teacher. Pat Rydell, another sister, was heavily involved in vision. Mike Brown, their brother, who was Marcy's twin, moved to Cornwall. And I asked, let me get his name right, Michael Newhart is his name, the mayor, to come to one of our sit-and chats and I think the topic of Browns Hill and Browns history would be a very nice topic of discussion. There are 6 categories of awards at the Hudson Valley Regional Council, and they are Building Bridges Awards, the Climate Stalwart Award, the Commitment Award, the Impact Award, the Momentum Award, and the Resilience Award. The Town of Highlands was one of 3 to win the Commitment Award. This represents many, many hours of people who receive no pay, and the Town of Highlands does not give a dime to the committee. I want to thank Olga and the committee, past and present, for all the work that went into this. And this award is to the Town of Highlands, okay? From the Hudson Valley Regional Council. Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Okay, before we let you go, though, I'll ask for a motion to accept the resignation of Katie Hertel and Ashley McAdam from the committee.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. And I'll ask for a motion to appoint Roxana whatever you said, to the committee.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
So carried, thank you. Councilman King.
I only have 2 things, not too much this evening. First of all, good evening, everyone is here present, and good evening, everyone at home. First and foremost, I want to say that there is a December 17th First Responder Luncheon at the American Legion from 2 p.m., from 12 to 1. 12 to 1 at the American Legion, December 17th, which is this weekend, First Responder Luncheon. And then additionally, I've been approached by at least one community member regarding starting bingo. Not personally a bingo player, but if there's anybody out there that have interest in bingo, have experience with bingo, would like to see us get bingo going, then contact me, please, and we see if we can move forward on that initiative. The third thing is, more and more I'm finding that we have a sizable veteran population. And what I've noticed in the 9 years that I've been retired and back here in the Hudson Valley is here in Highland Falls, it shifted from when I first got here, mostly senior people. And then now I'm seeing a lot of younger people. I mean, it just could be me, but I don't know if people have that experience. I'm seeing more post 9/11 now in the community than it was World War II, Vietnam era guys and gals. So that being said, it comes with a whole different set of challenges and also concerns. And so I want to make myself available, and if anybody's out there that has a loved one or a veteran themselves is having any have a need to talk, I'm here and I'm available. This season is a season where just not veterans, but most people have someone in their life that may go through what they call holiday blues. You know, during the holidays, some people get depressed. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but it's a proven thing. My concern is specifically suicide, and that is a thing prevalent in the veteran community. So, and we've even had here locally at least one veteran that I know of passed from suicide. So that's why I'm making this a public announcement. So I do my part to try to combat veteran suicide, but we first start with acknowledging that we do have folks amongst us that may need help. That's all I got, Supervisor, unless you have anything for me.
No, sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Councilman DeWitt?
Thank you, Supervisor. Lindsay, I know you had recently spoke with Gary last week, and I know you had a report on a lot of the highway repairs, road repairs. You're going to comment on that, so I'll leave you to that. There's still, leaf pickup is still a progress, so Hopefully that'll be done with soon. Really, the other thing I wanted to say is a shout out to Crafty D and all the volunteers that helped with that holiday hop the other weekend. They had a nice run, and it was just a nice thing again for the community. Again, another thing, people stepping up and trying to bring some joy into the holiday season. So again, thanks to D, Crafty D, and all the volunteers that helped with that. Otherwise, that's all I have for now. Thanks. I yield to you.
Yield to me.
Councilman Yeager, this will be the last time he'll be in that seat, at least in the next couple of years. Dean, I just want to thank you very much for things that you've accomplished and done working with your various liaison departments, with helping us decide on this terrible budget that we had to put together.
Yes.
I appreciate all the work that you've done for the town.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob, Supervisor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen at home, and yes, I want to say thank you for my short duration here, but it was a pleasure, and it was great to see how the town is run and how things go, and where improvements can be, and I won't be too far out of the way to ever ask for questions or know what to do and who to go to for answers to things. So it was a great experience, and 2 years isn't that far down the road. It goes like that. So who knows what will happen at that point? We'll see. But thank you again. Much appreciated. With that, just a couple of quick announcements from our rec department. Basketball practices continue out throughout December, and then we'll have our Christmas break or holiday break. And in between that, we have the Army West Point women's basketball team putting on a free clinic for the kids in grades 5 to 8 during that break, which will be on December 28th from 12 to 2 at the Highland Falls Intermediate School. And they'll have their complete team there, coaches and so forth, to help our kids gather the skills they need to play a great game of basketball in their future. Also want to say thank you to Aaron for obtaining some tree donations that were made by anonymous donors, and where she helped distribute to some needy folks and families in need. So just want to say shout out to Aaron. Thank you very much for helping us with that. At the ambulance corps, which was, they had their annual voting for the 2024 officers, and they'll go as as it follows. As captain will remain Jeff Gathers, and you have assistant captain Alex Malo Perez. First lieutenant would be Jason Stropel. Second lieutenant Brianna Shiver. President will be Kristen Burns, Vice President Jennifer Stropel, and Recording Secretary Steve Scott. We also have on our Board of Directors Patrick Flynn, Chris Babcock, Sean Lewis, Chevy Wanamaker, and Genesis Merlot Perez. Congrats to all of them. And it's been a pleasure working with them as well, as in also the planning department as well. So it was good times, and it's great to learn. Thanks again, and that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Chief, do you have something for us?
Brought a tear to my eye. Tear to my eye.
I will start with some statistics from the month of November. That month, we responded to 18 motor vehicle accidents, had 236 directed patrol assignments, 118 calls for service, 3 cases which resulted in 2 arrests, made 63 car stops, and issued 25 uniform traffic tickets. I think I gave the board a pending letter of resignation from one of our officers, which is going to be effective December 31st. I don't know if you have that on the agenda for tonight.
I do.
Okay. And And I've also been looking, as you know, during the storm in July, we had one police vehicle that was destroyed, which was paid off by the insurance company, and there is a small amount of money left over. I have received grant funding for partial reimbursement to purchase 2 vehicles. I would like to request that the remainder of our personal services funding at the end of this year, which will be about $100,000 to $105,000 due to our staffing issues for the year and no deputy chief position being filled for this year. I'd like that money to be moved into a vehicle reserve fund to purchase 3 new vehicles next year.
So far, Kelly's moving her head up and down.
There's going to be a significant surplus in that line at the end of the year.
And it can be put into a reserve fund for vehicles?
Yes.
Good, okay. Does anybody on the board have a problem or suggestion, or?
Yeah, my recommendation is that we do it. I concur with the chief that it's going to be needed. It's obviously on the one vehicle that was destroyed, and the money is available, so that's my take on it.
Okay, very good.
And would it be best to order, if we're going to do that, order them now or later, because it takes so long to get one as well? Just to keep that in mind.
If it's going to be approved, I will start looking to see what's presently available, and if there are still vehicles, let's say, 2023 vehicles that are on the lot that have been ordered under state contract, I'll see if they're available. As far as I know, the only Dodge is not going to make Durangos anymore. Ford is going to only provide hybrids as police interceptors now. The only other option is Tahoes, which are ridiculously expensive. But I will, if it's approved, I'll start looking to see what's available and what the time period would be, so we're not waiting anywhere from 8 to 10 months to get
Be a
vehicles.
year from now, right?
Kelly, does this all sound like it can be done?
Yeah,
Yes?
Frank and I talked about it the other day. The only thing is I'd like to wait until we have the final payroll in January, so I have a better number to give you what can be moved.
And then we can do a transfer of the funds into a
Yes.
reserve fund, if it needs to go into a reserve fund.
Yeah, it probably should go into the reserve fund.
Yeah, I mean, rather than just spending it outright, does it have to go into the reserve fund? If so, then we put it there. It's
Yeah.
no big deal.
It's going to be a lot.
Yes,
I think it just depends on the timing of how quickly you're ready to act.
yes, okay. Okay.
If you're not able to act early in the year, then you should park it in a reserve fund.
Sounds like a plan, Chief.
Okay, thank you.
Kelly, you have anything?
No.
Well, she sort of did. Well, I sent it to the board and didn't make it to the agenda because I didn't send it till later in the day, but
Oh, I know which one you did.
with respect to the
Highway
highways.
Superintendent?
But if you've got it, you handle it whenever you would like.
I've got it. Well, since you brought it up, I think the town board have it?
Yes, everyone was copied on the
The
email.
resolution authorizing and ratifying the highway superintendent's vacation hours. Justin, you can explain it.
Sure. Yeah, Kelly didn't have anything. Certainly, at the time of the highway superintendent's hiring, there was various discussions of what benefits he'd be entitled to and when, based on his year probation, but then his initial term expiring in the end of this year. And there were conversations around that, but it ultimately wasn't perfectly clear, so we wanted to make sure that he was entitled to accumulate and carry over 2 weeks of vacation time. It's not clearly documented, so this resolution would allow for that.
Okay, I have this resolution authorizing, ratifying highway superintendent's vacation hours.
Motion.
Okay, it's a question.
Yes.
If it's to allow Gary to carry over vacation time, does he have to burn that time in a certain period of time, like in the first quarter of the next year, or any time during the
No,
year?
so under his, under the handbook and the rules, right, ultimately, he can accumulate a certain amount of hours. I've forgotten what the cap is, 240? So he might use them, or he may just end up accumulating up to that number. That's his entitlement as an employee.
He'll never use it.
Like all other employees.
Okay, so we have a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
No, you don't need a second.
Yes, you did. We didn't have a second. I just.
Aye.
Ty, just a second. Okay.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Yeager?
Aye.
Supervisor Livesey?
Aye. Okay, next on the agenda is the towing resolution. Where am I at here? Justin, I'll
Certainly.
pass this to you also.
Okay. So there's been a few discussions on towing, and...
June, you can speak to this when we
Okay.
get to it.
Sure, yep, and I was going to comment there as well, but, so you have the ability to set the amount of licenses for your towing code, and this resolution would set that number for 2024 or until such time as the board takes other action at 2 licenses. There'd be priority given to existing license holders, so long as they are in good standing with the town and have complied with the regulations of the code. There's additionally some discussion that has gone back and forth between the town clerk and the town board as to whether or not she needs to notify the town board prior to the issuance of any license. Right now, the resolution indicates that. That's easy enough to strike from the resolution if that's not necessary. And again, ultimately, this resolution will remain in place, but then ultimately, I believe you'll also make some code changes through a local law, and that issue could be revisited at that point as well.
So, we already have everything in place. We're only going to do 2. We're going to give it to the existing, offer to the existing first. I myself do not feel any reason why we have to notify before I say because it's the chief. The chief actually inspects and does everything. I sent you all an email earlier. He says, okay, give them the permit. So I don't know why we have to let you know before. So what's your, what do you think? I don't think that's necessary because the SOPs are already in place now. 2 existing tow companies.
Okay, the town clerk and I have spoken with each other, and I don't agree with her.
But why? That's why I want to know, why don't you agree with me?
Because this didn't work out well with the hiring of the last tow operator. And it just seems to me that it could have been simply taken care of if we were told ahead of time that we were going to issue a license.
I'm not
So,
going
June,
to do this again.
I'm a little bit confused. So currently, the policy is that, or the law or the rule is that we can have 2 companies
That's what we're doing, that's what you're doing.
right now.
You're limiting
That's what we're
it to
doing right
2.
now, yeah.
Yes.
So we limited it to 2.
Correct.
So the way the process works, whoever's trying to get the license goes to the chief first?
What happens is they send me the application, all their documentation. From there, I send it to the chief. The chief's responsible for inspecting their place to make sure it's secure for holding vehicles.
Okay.
And then he inspects all their vehicles, etc. Then the chief will come to me and say, okay, they're good to go, so you can give them the permit.
Okay,
That's how it works.
okay. Seems pretty simple. Okay, I got it.
Okay. So again, does Richie have anything to say about this? No. In the present resolution, it has the sentence that the town clerk shall notify the town board prior to issue of any issuance. I think that should be in there, but if anybody on the board thinks it should be taken out,
Only question, I mean, is there any harm in, again, just for discussion, the level of checks and balances to make sure all things are, as I say, that I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and all that, and run through our lawyer.
But this is dotting and crossing. This is telling the chief and I exactly how we have to do it. There's only 2 being issued, and we have to offer them to the ones that already have them. This is already telling us what we have to do. Now, my question is, if you leave the sentence in there, which, whatever, does it need board approval? Because I can notify you, you're not going to see your email, then we issue the permit. So what good is it to me to notify you if you don't have to approve it, or if it's already going to be issued by the time you see your email?
Point taken.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have no problem letting you guys know that we issued the towing permit to one of them. I'm not going to say which one.
I mean, I think the concept is, and obviously, right, it is a check and balance, and it's a matter of, and your office issues various licenses, but it's just a notice that allows them to be aware of who's, right? You believe at the moment these 2 companies are going to apply. They may not, number one. And in 3 years from now, certainly there could be change, right? And it's a matter of having the town board be aware when applications come in.
That's fine, but is the board wanting to approve them before I give it to the chief? That's what I'm asking. So by notifying you, are you needing to approve anything?
No, it's not.
It needs to be approved. And by that, I mean, suppose you come in with a 3rd.
I won't, because it tells me not to.
I understand that.
Well, right, but, so I think
don't see
it's...
the harm in telling us that our 2 present towers, operators, are getting licenses again. I don't see any harm in that.
No, I don't see any harm in either, but I just want to make sure that you don't need to approve anything. Because the issue, it'll already be issued by the time you see the emails.
Well, we wouldn't have to approve it if it's done according to the resolution.
It's not an approval, but I guess the suggestion would be, right, when you are mailing to the chief to start his work, right, that would be the appropriate time to notify the board that an application is in process.
Okay.
Right? And that way, if there is a concern or an issue, they're aware, or a new company coming to town, they're aware.
So there's where I would have more of an interest personally. So if we're talking about 2 people renewing, that's already been approved, and the process says, go to the clerk,
Possibly.
go to the chief, get it approved, send us an email, whatever. But if there was new people coming into the community to do these types of services, that may be something that we might have to have some discussion about personally. That's what I'm thinking. But if it's already in there, send the email. And so I might read it after it's all over with, though.
I understand what you're saying. The resolution's written to give you the parameters for what you need to do your job and do the process.
So my problem
So
is-
why do you need to double down? Now, anytime there is a permit issued, does anything or everything run through Justin, or does it not?
No, I don't see
By
it.
the code.
It just goes by the code.
That goes by the code.
Okay, I mean, as long as, again, the resolution was drawn up in a way to give you the parameters to follow what you
That
gotta
sentence is
do.
already in there, right?
So, done. I mean, it's
Figure it
part, anything that, all the business that happens like that, there's a report. The chief, obviously, every board meeting is giving us a report of what's going on. It's nice to have the heads up, but like you said, the resolution's in place. So those rules are followed,
So does anybody want to make a motion to move the resolution?
I think I already did.
I'll second
You
it.
made the motion?
Yeah.
And he seconded it.
I didn't hear.
Second.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sullivan?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember DeWitt?
Aye.
Councilmember Yeager?
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay?
Aye. Okay. I'm sure everyone is aware that we're 6 months post the storm in July, and we still have roads that need to be repaired. There's different kinds of repairs that are being done or can be done, permanent repairs and emergency repairs. As we close out 2023 and look back at the storm of July the 9th, that's about 6 months ago, we have completed some repairs to our roads, and we also know the projects for road repairs are certainly not complete. Not complete is Locust Lane, Mine Road, Laurel Way, Dry Creek Road. We're waiting for RFPs, requests for prices or for construction. The engineer is doing up these RFPs, and once we get the prices back and the companies that are going to repair them back, the repairs will start. Now, Canterbury Road is complete, Firefighters is complete, and Forest Hill Road is complete. When the culvert on Mine Dock Road is completed, Mine Dock Road repair will continue. Why are some roads complete and some not? This is determined by FEMA, who allowed some work to be done under emergency terms, and the rest has to be done under normal processes. If we don't do them under normal processes, then FEMA has the choice of whether to approve our work and pay for it, 75%, or not. So I'm not willing to send our highway department out and say, just fix the road, don't worry about FEMA, because that's a lot of money, a lot of money. We're talking millions. Kelly, am I right in what I'm saying here? We've been meeting with FEMA. How many meetings now? At least a dozen?
Oh, it's almost every
And we had one today and one tomorrow.
Yeah, it's almost every week since this one.
So I bring that up only because Kelly, Gary, myself, we know what we're doing with FEMA, and we're just talking roads. We got a problem here in the town hall with the mold resolution in the basement, which now we've got to get it done by the end of January, was it? Yeah. So we're working on it.
I emailed John.
No, good. No, I say we're working on it. Yeah.
Can I ask a question about that?
That's on the agenda, yes.
Okay. I foiled this information, and I didn't get what, people worked out per diem or the documentation to justify the charges each person put in on that work. How would I go about getting that? Because I wanted to get a breakdown of all the charges.
Foiled.
I did. It didn't come in complete. I only got just a list of vendors. I'll do it again.
Okay. Okay, that luncheon that Ty told us about, if anybody is a first responder or works in the DPW or sanitation, there's a recognition luncheon on December the 17th from 12 to 1 p.m. Now, when I say anyone, I'm talking about town and village. Town and village. The event's going to be at the American Legion Post. They need to put together a count because they're going to be serving some food. And the agenda is 12 o'clock. The guests will arrive, mingle, and grab food when ready. Then there'll be remarks made by the American Legion, Spectrum, Senator Skoufis, and other political entities. And the program will end at 1, so that's a quick program, considering it. This is being basically put on by the Spectrum to thank everyone for what they did during the storm. So make sure if you're one of those departments that we tie, if you let the police department make sure they do it. Chief's here, so they just got to let
Robert, I could forward this to everybody, the invitation,
okay.
and it's Robert T. Carter Jr. Gmail is the response for
All right.
RSVP.
Okay,
I'll
excellent.
send it to everybody here on the board.
Okay, I have a police officer that has offered his resignation, Patrick Kelly, officer number 139. Writing you this letter to formally notify you of my resignation effective December the 31st. I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to your, for your leadership, care of your employees, and stewardship of the Town of Highlands Police Department. It was with great difficulty that I must tender my resignation. However, due to time constraints between my full-time employee, National Guard service, and family obligations, boy, he's got a lot on his plate, I can no longer provide you with the required monthly shifts as per the contract. Thank you for the opportunity you have provided me. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So
Aye.
carried. Thank you. Okay, Town Board, if there's any more besides this, please jump in. These are Town of Highlands Recreation and Information for Seniors. Tuesday, December the 12th, men's social hour at the Senior Center, 10:30 to 11:30. Wednesday, December the 13th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's a Town of Highlands Senior Advisory Committee meeting being sponsored at Delicia's Pizza Kitchen, and the Center of Highland Falls is sponsoring that. There's a speaker, who's the speaker?
I don't have it.
I have it
It's in my
somewhere.
email somewhere. I didn't.
George Biscuit, I believe.
George Biscoff, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, from Rotary, right?
Starts at 11.
Okay. Saturday, December the 16th, Winter Market at the Holy Innocents. Saturday and Sunday, December 16 and 17, support Salvation Army at My Town Market. Wednesday, December the 20th, information and social at the Holy Innocents Parish Hall, raffles, door prizes, and refreshments. Anybody on board know any other activities?
That's it.
Olga, you know any of activities?
Road parade.
Other than what I've mentioned?
Right back.
Okay, general public comment.
Okay, last week, the camera was still rolling. I was very happy that the police department here is not compromised. That man is a gentleman. I am so happy. Mr. Sullivan, if he wants to target me, go for it. But I'm telling you that you're making a mistake. Don't do this. You're going to get yourself in a world of trouble. Mr. King, you are a gentleman. I respect you to no end. That was wonderful what you did. There really, as Mr. Livesey, there isn't much you're going to do to shut me down because I'm not going to stop. Sir, I don't know you, but I do respect you. And Mr. DeWitt had a problem with my foiling too many records. I'm not even getting started yet, but I will. Anyway, I did foil one property. I received 5 pages. I already had, I think, 60-plus pages, and none of them are the same. This will possibly be record tampering, but I will not have this. I will have this checked by the state. And also, I see why they are gone, because if they had not been ignored, something else that did get done could not have been done. In addition, it appears our town code may have been ignored in what occurred after they disappeared. If, however, they do reappear, a reason that for this will have to be given as to why I didn't get them in the first place. And these records would have been on the second floor, which did not experience flood damage. As per Marian Anderson, which I knew before she passed away, I used to bring her dinner every day. She told me that in the past, the excuse was floods, records are gone. She told me this was like a typical thing and that they continue to put them downstairs because it works out great if they got to get rid of papers. I don't know if this is true, but this is what she told me. Okay. So, also, when I went to file a record, I had the building inspector hand me the file, look through the file, and start taking things out. Well, you don't need this, you don't need that. And I had to say, no, I want them, and you're giving them to me. By the way, one of these records, there's a big mistake. I'm going to bring this to the state. They got to look at it. It looks like it was added later on, but somebody messed up. They made a big mistake on this. It looks like it was added to the file. Now, if that's true, that would be records tampering. I'm going to find out. Now, you guys want a proof of something? Okay. On January 8th of 2008, Mr. Hannawell received an advisory notice about his property. Now, that was for Joe. And I'm going to file many more foils. I know I've already bothered you, but there's many more coming. They're all insufficient. Now, construction inspections. Erosion and sediment control inspections. If any violations are found, the applicant and developer shall be notified in writing the nature of the violation and the required corrective actions. No further work shall be conducted for the site stabilization until all violations are corrected and all work previously completed has been received approval by a stormwater management administrator. Enforcement penalties for offenses. Every day a violation of the provisions of this chapter continue after a written notice shall have been served upon the owner or his agent, either personally or by certified mail, at the last known address shall constitute a separate violation. In addition to the penalties set up in subsection B, any person violating any provisions of this subchapter pertaining to the tree removal, destruction of this chapter pertaining to, tree removal should be subject to a civil penalty enforceable and to the town in the amount of $250 each day. That violation continues for every tree until the tree is replaced and completed and approved by an authorized official. Now, violation. In addition to this penalty set forth in subchapter 805 of the General Municipal Law, any town employee who shall knowingly or intentionally violate any of these provisions may be fired, suspended, or removed from office, employment, or manner by law. That would be our building inspector. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Now, also, very interesting thing I found, it said that anyone that's in one of these boards or works for the town can't take a contract with the town for at least 2 years after they leave. So we're clear on that. Nobody plans to try to make money on getting any contracts or anything once they leave this for at least 2 years. And I guess that's about it. But again, the building inspector needs to be fired. I'm sure we don't want him to go, and I know why, but he's going to go. And we'll be back to the state of New York, and I'm going to continue to push things.
Anyone else? Public comment?
Hi, my name is Nancy Sporbert. I am recently elected to the town board, and I just want one recent comment as everyone's thanking Dean. My own personal gratitude. Dean was one of the first to cheer me on, and in these days when politics can be a little dividing, and Dean was among the first to congratulate me when I won to take that seat. So thank you, Dean. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Keeping it warm for you.
Was I second?
We ended up being tied.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, one of the first. You were.
Okay, any other public comment? Ask for a motion to withdraw. Well, before time out, our next get-together, if you want to call it that, will be a swearing-in ceremony on January the 1st at 12 noon. The judges are going to swear us in as a group. So if anyone would like to attend the ceremony, it'll be here in the courtroom.
What day?
Yes,
What day was that again?
whatever day January 1st is.
What time?
Monday?
You can't sleep in, Tom.
12 noon. 12 noon.
You read my mind.
Two quick things, sorry. There's no meeting on the 25th?
No meeting on the 25th.
Meeting on the 25th.
And on
You call me Scrooge, but,
On December 8th, Frank had sent out an email about some surplus radios
yes.
that the fire department was going to take and refurbish.
Okay.
So can we just declare those radios surplus?
Yeah. Frank, if you could explain the radios.
There
And
are
what-
6 Motorola portable radios on the old analog frequency they're not able to be used on the new county digital trunking system. None of the radios that they would communicate with in our vehicles are in the vehicles anymore. So they're just taking up space, and the fire department asked, they could reprogram them and use them on their,
Okay, I'll ask for,
Local fireground.
I'll ask for a motion to declare surplus the 6 Motorola radios currently held by the police department. Serial numbers will be provided in the
Motion.
minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Motion to adjourn.
Got one last, really quick. Again, everybody at home, I'm sorry about our Channel 23 problems. I do have a list of equipment that I'm hoping we have approved to purchase. We have the money to purchase, and for our new year, hopefully that'll be a fix. Finding an engineer who will look at this antiquated system is proven a little hard, but I'll still work on that too, amongst a few other things. So again, hopefully in the new year, we'll have a better transmission. I'm getting texts from people at home, digital pictures, audio dropping out again, my apologies. And quick, Mr. Miller, I apologize for my timing, that was not personal. I just, please, that was not, it just timed out that way. So please, my apologies for stepping out during your comment, that's all I wanted to let
Okay,
you
I
know.
have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, I wanted to say before we go, thank you, Dean, for your service.
Oh,
And it was a
by all
pleasure
means.
serving with you.
Thank you again.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Thank you.